Come on, Rob, throttle up.
Guys, come on. Playtime's over.
What?
I gotta winterize these boats.
Oh, okay.
On today's Outdoor Icon show, we're out here at Lake Milton. Jim Strock Trig Marine is going to teach us how to winterize boats for the handyman do-it-yourselfer, or if you think it's a little bit too much work, we'll give you contact information at the end of the show on how you can have Jim winterize your boat to keep that thing on the lake for years to come.
Stay tuned, you'll learn something about winterizing. Hey there, Jim.
Hi guys.
Nice to see you.
Today?
Good to see you. Welcome to today's Outdoor Icon show. We're going to get with Jim Strock of Jim Strock Trig Marine and talk about winterizing a boat and why you need to do it and what you need to do if you're a do-it-yourselfer and who you can talk to if you need some help.
It's that time of year again already, Rob.
It's hard to believe then. Fall is upon us. Of course, we have some nice weather. We're always in this part of the season where we always get a little lucky with some more warm weather. But Jim, let's start off. Let's talk about what is winterizing a boat and what is entailed in winterizing a boat.
Well, the winterization of a boat entails a lot of things. Basically, you're getting rid of all the water and changing all the fluids and doing all the general maintenance in the fall. If you do it in the fall, you know that you don't have any water, no long-term damage is going to occur over the winter months. And if you do have water where it's not supposed to be, you've got 5 or 6 months in order to take care of it in our market.
Okay, now I hear a lot of times, I mean I have a boat, I'm a boat owner, I have an outboard. We have here today, what, some inboard outboard type motors?
Yeah, I've got a couple of inboard outboards going right now, and I guess that's what we're going to talk about today.
Yeah, now how different is it from an outboard to an inboard outboard? Well, and maybe even explain, to our viewers here what the difference is between those motors.
The winterizing process is similar. You use a fogging oil in all of them. The fogging oil coats all the internal parts. You spray it into the engine while the engine's running. It coats all the internal parts with a combination of oils and rust inhibitors so that none of the internal parts of the engine can rust. You use a fuel conditioner in the fuel. It keeps the fuels today there's more additives in fuel than there used to be, and the fuels will break down over a long period of time. You put a fuel conditioner in and it stabilizes it. Grease, marine grease is designed to suspend water so that you don't have pockets of water and pockets of grease in an area, so that if you do have water where it doesn't belong and you've got a good grade marine grease in it, it's going to suspend it and protect the parts from rust. Engine oil is the same way. The engine oil is formulated to be used in a marine engine. Other things like power tune, specifically for your outboards, right? The power tune breaks down carbon that's associated with two-stroke engines where it's burning oil in the fuel every time you run the engine. The power tune cleans that out. Power steering fluid, oil filters, that kind of thing. Yeah, depending on what kind of motor you have and whatnot. Obviously, with an outboard, I don't have any power steering to worry about. Right, but you do have power trim, and the power trim and power steering fluid is the same. It's the same oil. It is the same oil.
Mm-hmm. I guess the big thing is water is the enemy during winter, because if it freezes, that's what's going to expand and that's what's going to break the internal parts. Yep, water's definitely the enemy. Not only in the inboard outboards, if you leave the water in the engine, will it destroy the block. The water, if you have a problem with the bellows, which are the rubber parts, then we'll get into that when we pull the drive off. If you've got water where it doesn't belong and you don't service it properly in the fall, you will end up with long-term damage. You'll lose universal joints, you'll lose gimbal bearings, you'll lose the mechanical pieces that are $75 to $100 a piece. Yeah. And you've got 3 of those in there. You got between $200 and $300 in stuff that could have been prevented by properly winterizing in the fall and doing all the maintenance in the fall, and then just doing the repair that's necessary throughout the winter. You're just basically, what you're doing is you're pickling everything in the fall. If a guy is going to winterize his boat by himself, ballpark figure what it costs to winterize a boat to protect himself from future damage?
If he winterizes it himself, if it's an inboard outboard, you're looking at $75 to $100, depending on, you know, whether he's done it previously. If he's done it previously and he has the pumps for pulling the oil out of the engine and the pump for putting the gear oil back into the drive, then you can reduce that by, you know, $30, $40.
Now, Jim, you're also you're fogging the engine, doing things with spark plugs, doing stuff with oil. But what about the lower gear oil? Is that's included in the whole winterization process as well?
Always change the lower gear oil, because that's the most that area is most susceptible to water damage, because it's under the water the entire summer long, and if you do have water in there, you're done.
Now, is it also a good time then to maybe get in the habit of including the bearings on your wheel hubs, to maybe, you know, kind of include all that as far as the winterizing process?
Yeah, it is, because the trailer, and you look at some of the trailers, as you can see, the trailer is probably one of the most neglected pieces of marine equipment that there is, because it's used in a facility like we have here at Lake Milton. It's used twice a year. You bring it out, you put it in the water, you put your trailer in the weeds, and you forget about it. And you know, your trailer just it sits there until you need it again in the fall.
Well, let's take a break, Rob. When we come back, right here at beautiful Lake Milton, Jim's going to show us 3 boats in the different stages of winterization. So if you've got a boat like that, stay tuned. He'll show you how to take the parts off, how to put them on, and give you some good tips on winterizing the boat for yourself. You're watching the Outdoor Icon Show. We'll be right back.
This Outdoor Icon Show factoid is brought to you by First Metropolitan Mortgage. Stay tuned, the Outdoor Icon will be right back.
Welcome back to the Outdoor Icon Show. Jim, we're going to start here with this first boat. What do we have here, step 1?
All right now we've got water going to the outdrive. Never ever run your marine engine without the proper test flush on it. It takes less than 30 seconds to destroy your water pump if you run it without water.
And those
a lot of guys, they just want, I can turn it on for a minute and show their buddy, well, listen to this crank up, watch it go. Less than 30 seconds, shot, done.
Nope, can't do it.
And those things are like $9 or $10 at the store.
$10 saves you a $200 water pump repair.
So the engine thinks it's in the water because it's got the water flowing through, just like if it was in the lake.
And what the water serving is what, to cool the engine?
The water cools the engine and actually lubricates the water pump just like it was in the water.
Okay. Well, what's the next phase here?
Next thing we do is we stabilize the fuel. Just simply dump a can of fuel stabilizer into the fuel tank, close it back up, and you're ready to run the boat.
So the stabilizer will what, eliminate water from the fuel?
It eliminates water from the fuel, but it also stabilizes the fuel so that it doesn't turn to varnish over the winter layup, and the components in the fuel don't break down.
How much fuel do you leave in the boat over the winter? Or do you try to drain the fuel too?
No, actually, ideally, if you fill the fuel tank all the way up, there's less room for condensation and you get less moisture in the tank over the layup through the winter.
And that gas will be fine next year when you crank it?
Providing you stabilize it.